Well, good morning. Welcome to the shop. Today I wanted to run through a little demonstration with you on working on some lumber that was left over when my grandson built our marketing stand out at the end of the driveway. And when I saw those boards on his back of his truck when he first came with them, I thought, oh man, I got to try and make a cutting board out of those things. And so I looked up the wood species to check its qualities and things like that. And I found out that this is a Manitoba jack pine. And I found out that it's a hard wood and it's a closed grain. You need to have a closed grain wood if you're going to use something with a cutting board. Otherwise, all the juices and everything soaks into the board and it's not a pretty sight. So I have this piece of board here. It's as you can see, it's pretty rough, and I'm just going to begin to try and make this into a beautiful wood piece. And all I've done is cut it off of the longer piece. I see it's got a bit of a warp there, so not sure how that's going to go through the planer, but I want to run it through a couple passes just to give you an idea of how it starts to really smarten up pretty quick in terms of its appearance. So I'm going to run a couple passes through the planer here. It gets a bit noisy, and normally I would have ear muffs and dust mask, but it makes it a little hard to talk to you and hear what's going on while I'm doing this video. So it's only a few seconds. So let's give it a try. Turn on the thing. Oh, not plugged in. All right. Oh, plugged in, but just out of the wall a little bit. That was the first pass. So it takes a number of passes to get through to get it really down to prime time, but here you can see here where it's cleaned off now. The board's a bit warped, so that's why it's planing in the center here. It's a little tough to deal with that, but it will come eventually. And then the process will move from this planing to get it nice down to the sanding, the initial sanding on the shaper. Take these off, sand this on the spindle sander, and clean that all up and round the edges a little bit, and then put my stamp on it, and it's ready to go. So that's a little bit of the process involved in trying to make something work on the rough lumber. Probably if I was going to work with this piece, what I would do is I would get it cleaned off a little bit, and then I would take a saw and cut it down the center to break that warp, and then I would glue in a nice piece of decorative colored wood, and then glue that up, and then plane it out and finish it out. Boy, it would be spectacular. It would be very beautiful. Anyway, this gives you a bit of an idea of those kinds of things. Sometimes I just think I need to have a little fun out here, so I got a bunch of grandsons, and so they always like to get some guns so that they can run out in the forest. At my oldest son's place, he has a large acreage there. It's mainly all timber, so I made a number of different kinds of guns, handguns and whatever. Obviously, I made it so that it didn't look real in case anybody was concerned or whatever, but it still got that stock handle and all that. So they love it. They run through the forest out there playing cowboys and shooting deer, and all in the pretend, of course, right? But it's great. It's really great. Another thing I want to show you. As anybody will know that works with wood, not all your projects turn out well. Well, I had glued up this very expensive set of wood. This Cento one is called Tiger Wood, and then this is walnut. The Tiger Wood is very hard. And so then I thought, well, I glued it up as a rectangular piece. And then I thought, well, you know what? I'm gonna throw this on the CNC, and I want to cut out a nice little bowl that you would put, or dish that you would put candies or nuts or assortment of those kinds of things in it for serving. So I threw it on the CNC, set a pattern that I wanted. I thought would look good, and this is what happened. The CNC caught the edge. Where's that edge now? Oh, right here. You see that? Right there. It caught the edge as it was going around, and for whatever reason, the CNC jerked, and then it set the whole pattern off, and so it cut these openings very tiny. These stayed okay, but this opening should have stayed the same as this, but it didn't, and so what I'll probably do is clean this out of here, and then my wife will have a tray for the table to put nuts and candies for the grandkids on. It just works that way, you know. In real life, it's like that too. But you know, there's a point that I want to make after all of this, and that is whether it's in this board or these things, you know, when we come to the Lord as a person, we give our life to the Lord, we're pretty rough, right? We're pretty rough. And then the Bible talks about the process of sanctification and transformation. And many believers have heard so little about this that they think that I'm talking about a work salvation, which I am absolutely not. I'm talking about God doing his transforming work in us as a believer to conform us to his image, that we would be like him. We're not like him the second we get born. We have to grow up, and all Paul's epistles, Peter's writings, all talk about this process from glory to glory by the Spirit of the Lord, so that we eventually become a mature believer, as Paul talks about in Ephesians chapter 4. So don't mix up what I'm saying. I'm not preaching a work salvation. I'm not preaching about salvation. I'm talking about us as a born-again believer becoming mature like Christ. It doesn't just happen like that. Nothing that's alive and real pops like that. It just doesn't go from birth to maturity. It doesn't happen that way. And God has given us untold amounts of examples, including ourselves. I just had recently another great-granddaughter born. Well, I held her in my arms, and my goodness, she's like a little loaf of bread. So I'm going to ask her to go cut the grass for me? No, if I did, they would think, Grandpa has got dementia. No, she needs to grow. She needs to learn a lot of things. She needs to develop as a person so she has the capacity to do a little assignment. Oh, go make your little bed now, whatever, right? This should be obvious, but somehow in our Christianese, we get drugged into stupidity. We don't even think. We don't make it real. It's all fantasy. So, I don't know. I grew up on a farm, dairy farm, 7 days a week, morning and night, milking the cows, no days off. Never a day off. And many years in the ministry with no day off. Oh, I had officially a day off, but people would call me Monday morning, supposedly my day off. Oh, Pastor Dave, I know it's your day off, but this will only take a minute. And then, bleh, their big problem. They hang up, they feel better, and now I got to deal with that. This is life, folks. And we need to mature and grow up. When this board is finished, if I finish it soon, I'll take another video of it and let us all see. Wow, this board has been transformed. Just like Paul says in Romans 12, be transformed by the renewing of your mind. And 2 Corinthians 3:18, beholding the Lord as in a mirror, the glory of the Lord. We are being changed. It's the same Greek word, metamorphosis. We're being changed from one level of glory to another by the Spirit of the Lord. So that's my woodworking lesson and my spiritual application for the day. God bless you all.